So number 10 is Fate slash Zero. Or wait, is it Fate slash Stay Night? Or Fate slash Extra Last Encore? Or Fate slash whatever? I have no idea because they're all so bland and bleak that they just mesh together. None of them really truly stand out because they tried to make so many of them and it truly killed the series. And either way, I will give it to them though. Fate slash Zero had some really cool animations and the villains are really well done. And Emiya, that character, he's one of my favorite characters in just how he's kind of just a badass. But Fate's Last Day Knights, Saber and Ryder, they kind of just felt bland and stale to me, and especially by the end of it, where halfway through the series, I just kind of wanted them to be gone. They just delayed the series. Saber's the typical person in anime where they just want to do the right thing and do good, and that's it. That's all her character had to her. She's just the typical, kind of just like a shonen hero. And Ryder, he's just kind of there. He doesn't really play all that important of a role if you really take a look at it. Yes, he has some really cool fight scenes. Yes, his ability is really cool where he brings in all of his kingdom to fight for him. And yes, he did take out some people. But without him there, I don't think it would have changed that much. And his master didn't truly matter to the story to me. He was just some kid that decided to get in a game that was way over his head, and somehow it worked out. So to me, it just felt like it just stagnated over time. It never truly reached its potential, and it kind of sucked in that sense. All right, number 9 is Attack on Titan. I don't know. I just can't seem to get into this one. Yes, the graphics and fights are amazing, but it's kind of the only thing it truly has to offer. The rest of the series just has average qualities to me. And minus Eren, there's not many characters that really matter. I mean, yes, there's what is it, Misaka? I don't know. The main female character that's always with Eren. I don't remember her name because I just couldn't get into this one, so I didn't bother remembering it. And yes, it has some cool ideas when Eren turns into one of the Titans as well. But it just felt bland and stale, and minus those two characters, none of the other characters really mattered to me. They were supposed to, but I just feel like the series didn't do a good enough job at drawing in its audience to everyone else and everything else that's going on, minus the Titans attacking and Eren being a bitch boy. That's about it. Number 8 is Clanad and Clanad After Story. Truthfully, the only reason this one's even here is just because they couldn't let Nagisa and Ushio die. And they should have. Which kind of just ruined the flow and substance of a large part of the entire series. Minus that, the series was actually pretty good. And the ending of After Story, though, just ruined it. In my opinion, at least. And a lot of people agree, I think. Because you can't have a series about a love story that ends tragically and then have it not end tragically like some Disney BS. Which is exactly what it felt like. It felt like Disney could put this into their own franchise and no one would notice the difference, minus the animation is obviously not theirs. It's Japanese. And speaking of that, animation, it was good. But again, the series was just killed by the ending to After Story to me. Number 7, Yuri on Ice. Look, I refuse to even say almost anything about this series because it's just a dumpster fire. Unless you really like ice skating or are really into Yuri, then you have no reason to watch this sparkly men ride around on skates series because that's all it has to offer, truly. It fell flat in how it just didn't develop any characters. They really didn't. Sure, the main character developed a little bit, but barely. And it barely skimmed the surface on his character design and on their development, which a lot of sports animes fell flat on. So really, you don't have much of a reason to watch this one unless you like Yuri. Because even though I said that ice skating fans might like it, they don't truly develop into the realism of ice skating at all. It's just sparkly men on ice skates. And that's about it. Number 6 is Naruto. Yeah, I put it on the list. Look, let's be honest. Naruto, is it really all that great? No. It's more just a nostalgia piece for kids. Sure, it has some of its mature qualities in it, but not really. Not compared to some series like Monster and many others. There's so many I can't even name them all. Obviously, no one could. But it just it's not as good as people say it is. I mean, again, for kids and just for watching it for nostalgia, yeah, it's pretty good. But when you grow up and you move to decent series and good series, instead of panning images of trees and looking at lackluster pacing, and it lacked creativity after a while. It started off pretty well and then did nothing after it. It just did the same thing over and over again with different people fighting each other. Nothing really ever changed, and no substance really ever came out of it except for Naruto's development. And that's kind of it. So if you like just panning images of trees and no true changes to the flow of the series at any point, then hey, maybe that's still your series. But for me, I'd choose to leave it in the past as one of my childhood shows. Number 5, Devilman Crybaby. I mean, it was kind of good, don't get me wrong. It was certainly interesting and had, for the most part, new and interesting ideas, but it just feels average. And it felt extremely rushed to me. I understand that the rush and frantic nature of the show was on purpose, somewhat, but to me, it just felt sloppy and not very well put together, especially with the flow of the series. But on a side note, holy damn, did they come up with a great antagonist in Rio. He flipped that switch so quick from being a helper and being on the quote unquote good side to immediately being the villain. And that was done pretty well. But after that, when it comes down to it, it just felt super overhyped and just average. It's not bad, it's just average and definitely not credit worthy of being one of the best animes of 2019. Because to me, it wasn't. Was it good? Yeah, it was alright. But definitely not as deserving to get as much credit as it has so far. Number 4, Fairy Tail. Look, I gotta admit, the Grand Magic games are one of my favorite arcs in all of mainstream anime, to be honest. I enjoyed it much more than most of the arcs in Bleach, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece. But that's just my personal opinion. And truthfully, I do like Fairy Tail, but my god, how many times should Urza and Gray should have died in that series? And just by the point of the Grand Magic games, they were supposed to have died so many times already. And while that may just seem like a small or simple issue, to one to a series that requires suspense in its fights and the overall ambiance of the series minus its filler episodes, it just kind of killed the series. When you already know that nothing will kill or really beat up or beat any of the main characters, it just falls flat as something that's supposed to have you being on your edge and in suspense and feel emotions for the characters when you know it's going to work out for them in the end anyways. I mean, again, let's be honest. Erza, she should be dead. She should have died long, long ago. And instead of Simon dying in that one of the first arcs with the Tower of Heaven, it should have been Erza and Simon, not just Simon. But hey, maybe that's just me. Number 3 is SAO, or Sword Art Online. Like, I don't think anyone really thought that this wasn't going to be on the list. And I really don't know if I even have to bother with this one all that much, because everyone agrees SEO is overrated, even if you like it. Like I do. Truthfully, it's kind of a guilty pleasure anime for me. But it's so overrated, it's ridiculous. As well as the fact that the incest arc, as I like to call it, was complete trash. They'd set it up so that it was going to be such an important arc with them trying to get with Kirito trying to get Asuna back while she's still passed out in the hospital. But it felt like a joke, to be completely honest. Also, Gun Gale Online, while not horrible, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Nothing really is well put together in it, and it is entertaining, but it's just not well put together. But hey, at least they have some of the best, or one of the best abridged series ever, which is by Something Witty Entertainment. You guys should check it out. It's hilarious. Number 2, Tokyo Ghoul. Where do I even start with this one? Yes, the animation is pretty decent. Yes, the character design is cool. And yes, it's pretty decent, and it has a decently big and semi-deserving fan base. But come on. You have to admit, it's just kind of boring. I mean, I had to rewatch the first 2 episodes of season 1 10 times because I couldn't stop falling asleep during them. To be fair, though, I am a little biased because I do just hate the series. Nothing is appealing to me. And don't forget, throughout this list, this is all my opinions. You probably don't agree with a lot of them. Maybe you agree with some of them. But they're my opinions. So feel free to trash them, like I'm sure you will anyways. But this is just what I think. And to me, Tokyo Ghoul, it's nothing. It shouldn't be as popular as it is. It's alright, but that's about it. It's just alright. And number 1, Dragon Ball Z. And before we start talking about this, congrats on making it this far, because I gotta admit, this video probably sucks. So if you made it this far, thanks, man. That's all I gotta say. But back to the video. Number 1, Dragon Ball Z. Okay, everyone, let's be honest. Dragon Ball Z is a compilation of bitchy soccer moms' worthy screams and standstill animation. That's at least half of the series. It has more standstill shots of animation than an original Nintendo game. If you really think about it, although the fans are diehard and it's a legend in anime, and the action, well, once they actually move and fight, is pretty badass. In the end, its own legend and completely awful screaming kind of just makes it the most overrated anime ever, at least in my eyes. That is, it just I didn't like it. I if I wanted to watch someone scream, then I would go to watch a prison show of prisoners screaming behind bars while they're standing still. It's no different than that, or a soccer mom screaming on a soccer field. That's just my opinion, though. Hey guys, please like and subscribe to the channel if you liked the video.